I have a love and hate relationship with espresso. Is it any good? We're about to find out. This is the first experiment with this Colombian coffee. Let's get at it.
All right, so let's talk about this coffee. This is a crown jewel from Royal Coffee. It's a Colombian Huila, Pala de la Rosa, double fermented and washed pink Bourbon. Okay. I actually roasted this one 3 weeks ago, 68 in as a whole bean reading and also ground coffee as a 68. So it's relatively light coffee and really balanced the way I roasted it. From their flavor profile that they gave me for this coffee is black tea, orange, cherry, and pomegranate. We're gonna taste those flavors and everything, but we're also gonna make our own judgment of what we actually taste in the cup. And in this first round of tasting coffee, it's gonna be espresso. So let's get into it.
This video is going to be about espresso, something I don't talk about much in my coffee journey because I don't really care for it. I actually think it's a little overrated, but that's just me. Maybe throughout this whole challenge of understanding this Colombian coffee, may have more of appreciation for it. But I have a love-hate relationship with it. I prefer actually milk-based espresso drinks, like a macchiato. That's my favorite. And then what else? Sometimes some cappuccino, but for the most part, don't care for it so much as its regular form because it is very intense. Again, I'm more of a pour type of guy, Hario V60, more delicate flavors, but the amount of intensity that an espresso usually does or presents you, it's a little too much for me. So we're gonna try it out anyway because again, it's about pushing past our comfort levels and starting off with espresso, trying to understand this coffee in particular. We're gonna see what we learn from there. And I think we're gonna keep it simple this first go around. We've already roasted the coffee. It's been sitting for 3 weeks, so it's perfect for espresso. So we're gonna try it as a regular cup. We're gonna try it as a shorter cup, and then the lingo, I believe that's what they call it, a lot more water involved in it. We're just gonna taste it and see what we taste, see what we get from it, and see if we can learn anything from that first run as espresso with this coffee. So this right here is Olympia Cremina. This is from Switzerland. This model, I believe, was made in 1967. It's already been restored to. So I use this machine about twice a month, not too many times. It's a 48 millimeter portafilter and small little cute little tamper. We're about to brew some espresso. We're just tasting this espresso. Probably pulled it a little too fast, but it's okay. And we're just testing it out. Not my forte, okay? So, let me put this right here. Cheers. So let's see what we taste. Extremely fruity. What am I tasting? I don't know really what I'm tasting. I know it's more complex than the Kenyan coffee that I had. It's acidic, of course, but it's not too overpowering. It does have some hints of grapefruit in it, which I'm not too much of a fan of. It's getting more pronounced as it cools down. It's actually getting more acidic. I think that's one of the issues that I have with espresso. It's just so intense, the amount of flavor that it just puts into your mouth immediately, you know? And I'm kind of frightened to try this at half a cup of what this is. Like pretty much essentially this, but more concentrated. So we'll see. So my first impressions of this coffee is missing something. I don't know really what it is missing, but we'll see. First espresso cup down, 2 more to go. We got the shorty right here. I forgot what they call it. Somebody may correct me. So we're just testing this out to see how, I'm assuming that it's gonna be more intense. You know, I don't really do it this way, you know. Ristretto, I believe that's what it is. So it's a ristretto. Ooh. Wow. Even more intense. I'm tasting sourness though. And it's very hard to decipher what I'm really tasting. Still missing something. Okay. So that's the second cup. I don't like it. I don't like espresso and a ristretto in this form of this coffee. I'm sure it's similar to most coffees though, like that. But there we go. We're gonna do the third and last one, okay? It's a lot more coffee than what I normally do. Usually just do one pulse. So cheers. Here we go. Oh, less acidic, more chocolate notes in this cup. It's still missing something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just my technique, the way I brew espresso, make espresso in my Olympia Cremina, but it's still missing something. It is less bitter. I'm curious to see how this will taste with all the other brewers that I use. It is more approachable with more liquid inside of the cup. So I think I may use that technique from time to time to just put more water into, pulse it 2 or 3 times to see how that works out. But I am liking the cup. I should have made an Americano. But again, I just wanted to try to see what it does taste like. You know, espresso 3 different ways as a normal cup, more water, and then less water. More concentrated in that case. Yeah, I like this one the best. We are done. Look at that. Is espresso good? I'm still thinking about it. All right, I am currently done with the analysis of espresso. Not in crazy detail, but more so just to get my thoughts out about this coffee. It's not so much about my espresso technique. I'm sure some people may have some questions about it. Let me know if there's certain things I needed to do differently in order to get different things out of the coffee. But let's talk about that right now. The coffee has a lot of potential. It was tasty at times. It did have some good acidity, but something about it, it wasn't so much balance. And I think that's one of the things that I don't like about espresso is that it's very, I wouldn't say one notey, but very intense flavors all at once. So it's hard to decipher what you're really tasting. It was more so that in this case too. I did prefer the espresso that had a lot more water in it, but the one that was in the middle, the one that's normal, it did have more of a clarity of flavors, but it was still kind of hard to decipher what I was tasting. So what is it missing? I'm still trying to figure that out. I think if I had to guess what it's missing is it has an acidity, it has a fruitiness on it, even has the chocolate notes on it. I did taste some of that. But I think the thing that is really missing is type of sweetness. And I think that's one of the things that I have a hard time getting out of a coffee, you know, whenever I brew it sometimes. I do get the fruitiness, acidity, the chocolate notes and all that stuff. And each coffee is different in their own way, right? But something about sweetness. I wouldn't say chasing sweetness, but actually just finding it. And I think that's the thing that I have an issue with espresso and at times with filter coffee too, you know. It gets to the point to where's that balance? And again, it's not a 50-50 balance. It's something in the middle for that coffee, for that brew method. So I think that's the thing that I'm gonna take away or try to find sweetness in coffee. Probably I'm a little put off because of the way I actually brew it. And I don't realize that the way I brew it is probably causing the coffee to not be sweet or balanced, you know? So it's cool to kind of figure that out right now, but also actually go about trying to discover that. So if you have any ideas of what you do in order to get a balanced cup of acidity and sweetness, let me know. What kind of things can I do with the espresso? Do I need to go a little bit more coarser or do I need to go finer? Tell me the techniques. I did talk to one of the subscribers and he mentioned that he tends to brew his coffees a lot faster. So how do I go about that? Like I said in the previous video, I'm looking for what you think, what you want to do, or ideas to help me out in this challenge. Let me know what you think. We'll go from there. I know this is kind of like a different approach to going about discovering what I can from this coffee, but I'm interested in whatever you think too. That's what we got for this time. Talk to you later.